Well, it's really an extension to our information on demand strategy. It's not really as much different, but I think at first what we were focused on is we've been working with customers over the past 2.5, 3 years, as you heard Ambush talk about in response to one of the questions, helping customers address all the different needs they have to access and use the information across their enterprise. While we started off in this space as a database company, we've expanded by and beyond that, providing content management capabilities and then adding information integration and federation capabilities, and then just continued expanding up the value chain, if you will, to address all the different needs our customers had for how to use information and leverage information. And I think IOD was probably more of a technology-oriented strategy to address all the technology needs organizations had around leveraging information. And we focused on delivering this IOD stack of capabilities, from internal investments that we've made, or organic investments, to these all the acquisitions we made in the space. The information agenda is really about taking that to the next level and saying now, in all these customer engagements, these thousands of customer engagements we've done over the past 2.5, 3 years since we launched information on demand, what we found is that if companies start turning information into a strategic asset, and if they start defining an agenda for their organization in how they use information and how they use that information, they can start optimizing their business and establishing a greater competitive advantage. So the information agenda is really about how do you start using information versus just all the technologies to deliver it. So that's why we're focused on these industry-specific information agenda guides. What we've done is, based on these experiences we've had with banks, with insurance companies, with retailers, with manufacturers, with government agencies, we've been working with these and started to learn what are the areas of the business that can be optimized through the better use of information. And we've outlined those and created almost business optimization maps, if you will, that help organizations identify what are the key areas of their business that can be optimized if they start using information more effectively. And that's really what that information agenda is about. So we provided these guides, if you will, to help them figure it out. We also announced these foundation tools because one of the things we saw is companies are struggling to understand what is all the information they have around their organization. Where does it sit? What does it mean? Even some of and Cognos was actually focusing on some of the same problems. That's why they introduced Cognos Business Viewpoint this past month, because again, they recognize that their customers are trying to get a better handle on how different people define information across their organization, how they define a business view of their organization. To a credit, it's interesting, I've been working with some banks recently, and to the lending organization, in retail lending, their view of a customer and risk is very different than the view of the credit card group or the commercial lending organizations. They all have different views. And it's okay to have the different views, and sometimes it's important because profitability and what drives success is different in those different businesses. But you need to have a common understanding of where that information is coming from, a common linkage point. So it also gets back to having what the combination of IOD and the information agenda is about providing a common approach across the enterprise, because that's now the big differentiator. Great example, getting back to what's going on in the banking community. A lot of companies were looking at risk associated with individual portfolios. But one of the things that you may have seen people starting to write about is, this mortgage crisis is really what's driving a lot of the challenges we're having right now in the economy. But if companies just take the approach of, okay, let's look and better understand the risk associated with the mortgage, they're going to be missing out on half the picture, or a greater part of the picture. One of the new things people are now starting to worry about is, okay, what's going to happen to credit cards? Because once people defaulted on their mortgages, they're not going to be able to pay off their credit cards. So one of the banks I'm working with is now looking at how do they provide a consolidated enterprise view of risk, and how do they start building algorithms to understand if someone is late on their mortgage payment, is that an indicator that they're going to be late on their credit card payment, or vice versa? So how do you understand if all of a sudden you see a delinquent customer in one area of your business? How do you make sure you understand the potential impact across the rest of the portfolio, because that customer has other accounts with you and other products with you?